No, I started
talking about your fat ass
Yeah,
cat.
talking about my
Go
cat.
on.
No, so I took him, and they're like, "Oh, his blood pressure's a little high. Put him on this medicine." I was like, "I can't get him to take the medicine." I had to play with it for a little bit. I finally got him to take the medicine. He'd been taking it for like a day, and we had the appointment, and they're like, "Oh, still a little high. I'm going to put him on another pill. Bring him back in a week, and we'll take it again."
Yeah,
They're
my
charging me
fat ass cat's just gonna
$100 every
die.
time they take his blood pressure. By the way,
Yeah, yeah, it's a fucking scam.
I have
They drew my dog's blood 3 times in a row because they wouldn't just run all the panels at once. And then they still had no idea what was going on. We had to diagnose my dog, which we did. Give me my honorary veterinary's license.
I think I had like a $600 vet bill last month after, and that's just
Yeah.
for one cat. I have
Yeah,
another.
no thanks. I don't get my cats checked. They're just going to keep walking until they
But
stop.
I also have pet insurance, and the pet insurance doesn't cover any of this shit for some reason.
Oh, that's crazy. I looked into pet insurance and it was like, yeah, we don't cover pre-existing conditions or like any of these conditions.
They don't
So I
cover
was like,
well
well,
visits. They only cover
fuck
literally
off.
pet insurance. It only covers if he gets hit by a truck.
Okay, well now you know how to get your payout.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Fuck you. Nationwide pet insurance is a scam. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But anyway, speaking of
Words
pets,
about books. Speaking of pets.
uh,
And high blood pressure.
and high blood pressure.
Yeah, we're tying it all together. Words about books.
We haven't done a good pre-show rant in a while.
You've caught us at an ideal time today because I literally just got off work, grabbed my daughter, and came home. And Ben has a bunch of work he still has to do later this evening. So it's like you're at peak words about books.
This is when we're awake. Yeah, we don't usually record when we're so like.
This is when we're awake and maybe a little strung out and stressed out, and yeah. We're talking about the Hounds of Is it Baskersville or Baskerville?
It's
keep
the
fucking that up.
Hound. So you have fucked this up every time you said it to me.
Oh, it's the Hound because there's only one
Hound. But there's many Baskervilles. The
Hound of Baskersville.
The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Wow. Oh yeah, because the Baskervilles are people.
Yes.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I finished reading this yesterday. I can give you plot points. Fine detail is eluding me. As I was reading it, I would stop to take notes like I normally do, and I'm just like, shit.
So
I don't know why that is, Ben, but I don't know why that is, but I was like, I'm struggling to retain the information as it's being given to me for this book specifically.
I kind of get it, and I'll throw out a couple of reasons. I'll do a real quick about the author. So this is our first Sherlock Holmes thing. If I had known it was your first Sherlock Holmes thing, I would have told you to pick something different, because I have read everything Arthur Conan Doyle has ever written. I have read all the Sherlock Holmes stories, all the short stories, all the novels. The short stories are where it's the best. The novels are okay. This is probably my least favorite of the 4 novels.
There's only 4 novels?
Yeah. Most of Sherlock Holmes is short stories. It was published in newspapers for the most part.
Wow, I did not know that.
No,
I'm not very up on my like Sherlock. Like I probably have more knowledge of like the shows and adaptations than of the original novels, and apparently there's only 4 of them. So
yeah, I think H Bomber Guy has a really good video essay on why the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes sucks. And while I do like some episodes of it, I do mostly agree with him that he's spot on with why it doesn't feel like Sherlock Holmes. So Arthur Conan Doyle, little about the author. I'm only going to do a little about the author because I have a secret project coming out in October. Yes, a second secret project. I'm the Brandon Sanderson of podcasts.
Oh my God.
And it's going to go a lot more into Arthur Conan Doyle's personal life. But he was a doctor, medical doctor. He
Oh my god.
he is the Watson figure, and one of his teachers is the inspiration for Sherlock Holmes. He knew a guy who would do this uh, kind of as a parlor trick, deductive reasoning bit. Like he would come up with ways to figure out like where what train station you had come from or what you were doing, and he had this incredible attention to detail and problem solving ability, and that's what Sherlock Holmes is supposed to be about. You don't get to see a ton of it in this book, which is why I was like, oh
Yeah,
no,
you sure don't.
oh no, this is your first one. Okay.
Sherlock could not be bothered
So
to arrive for much of the book.
so there's also, if you read a lot of Sherlock Holmes stories, they're mostly self-contained mysteries. But the Hound of the Baskervilles is really not meant to be your first one because it plays
No.
it plays with the relationship between Sherlock and Watson. Like the gag for Hound of the Baskervilles is that Watson is the main guy for most of it. And
yeah, he sure is.
Watson always gets things wrong, and Sherlock delights in
Being a dick, it sounds
yeah,
like.
he's kind of a dick. He's not as much of a dick as like some of the adaptations. They've kind of played up his faults a bit. Like he does do a lot of cocaine. It was legal at the time. And
Yeah.
he
It's
smokes
legal now if you don't get caught.
he smokes like a chimney. He abuses stimulants. He stays up for days. He yells at people. He's snippy. He's annoying. But he's not like, I think in the BBC adaptation with Cumberbatch, he's
The fucking
like
worst.
they have narcotics police searching his house for drugs, and he's into all this illegal shit. And Sherlock Holmes is a weird guy.
Same when Elementary, which people probably don't even know, even though I think there's like 7
Is that
seasons
the
of
one
that
with Lucy
show.
Liu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Elementary. I think H Bomber guy mentions that one in the episode. It's a little bit more in the spirit. I think probably the most recent adaptation that's like the most Sherlock Holmesy is House.
Yeah.
That House probably nails it the best. Holmes, his whole thing is deductive reasoning. So at a time when police work is starting to move increasingly towards forensics, Sherlock Holmes is a consulting detective.
Oh, so this is different than our guy over in Japan, where it was like where police work is just like, I'm gonna beat you until you confess. This guy comes in and is like, I've got deductive reasoning. This is different. They're actually doing more detective work, not less.
They're starting to rely on fingerprints and footprints, and they don't have like, I don't think they do blood typing yet, but
Very unlikely.
yeah, but they're starting to go more towards the science, and Sherlock Holmes is a scientist to an extent, um, but yeah, his whole thing is by deductive reasoning, I can gather the clues, I can analyze this logically, and I can eliminate all the possibilities. He also extensively studies other criminal cases. He's kind of like at the
And
bleeding
it
edge of
sounds like
criminology.
Moriarty is maybe overplayed in the adaptations.
Yeah, for sure. Moriarty's only in a handful of stories. Um, honestly, like maybe Irene Adler is also overplayed in the adaptations. She's only in a couple. She's not like Sherlock's recurring girlfriend. The relationship between Sherlock and Watson starts when they're both looking for an apartment in London, and they each kind of need a roommate, and they wind up meeting. And Watson is, unlike most people, very impressed with Sherlock Holmes. Like Watson is kind of the guy who sees like, wow, this deductive reasoning stuff is actually really cool. And nobody else really see Sherlock that way for a while. Like they're all like, yeah, he's annoyingly correct. Yeah, it's fun to have him around telling me where I was today. Like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass actually. But Watson starts writing about Sherlock Holmes, and he starts publishing his accounts, and that's the conceit of all these stories, is that you're reading, like literally he'll put it in, the stories were published in newspapers, and you will see like it's it's obviously fiction, but the conceit is that you're actually reading Dr. Watson's actual story about an actual person. And Watson manages to make Holmes likable and famous, and um, Holmes
and gets no credit.
Holmes also, well, Holmes tells him he constantly tells him, you overplay everything I do and underplay everything you do. But then Sherlock is also like, oh, your stupidity inspires me to do better, Watson. Here's what I've come up with. And he always makes those little snide comments, but there Doyle plays with the format a little bit. There's stories where Sherlock tries to write the story and struggles a little with the writing, like, oh, it's not as easy as it looked. And he's constantly telling Watson, like, I wish you'd stop writing about me. By the way, did they like it? What did they say about me? Am I, what are the reviews? So there's a little tongue-in-cheek stuff.
Don't be such a baby.
But
that's what they said.
For the most part, it's about the case. And these guys are just like wacky characters.
In this case, can't be bothered. You think I want to go to Devonshire? You know where that is?
No.
Fucking middle of nowhere. I only know where it is because I always conquer it in Crusader Kings 3. You know what's there, Ben? Nothing. I don't get no taxes from that shit.
Do they say it Devonshire, or is it Devonshire?
Devon. It's Devon. And I think Shire is just added on because it's like a county. I don't know. I don't know what they do. My ancestors didn't fight and die, so I had to care. So, all right. You want to jump right into the Hound of Baskervilles?
Of the Baskervilles.
Fucking hell. I give up.
I don't know. The title not sticking is kind of where our problem started here. Mm-hmm. It's the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Where'd this cane come from, Ben? Where this random cane that's just like hanging out here? I bet it belongs to a dumbass who thinks phrenology is a great science that totally makes sense. I get it. That's applying our modern day thoughts.
Presentism.
And values.
We've been informed.
Presentism.
Yeah.
But kiss my ass.
No one at the time was critical of phrenology.
No one at the time. Definitely not Arthur Conan Doyle, because he made this guy seem like such a smart chap.
Yeah.
He's definitely not a buffoon.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. Sherlock Holmes has never actually examined anyone's skull to determine if they're a criminal.
Yeah. I wonder why that might be. But yeah, is he a Dr. Mortimer, or is he a Mr. Mortimer?
I believe he is a Dr. Mortimer.
Okay. Now follow up: is he a real doctor, or is he like a doctor of phrenology? Because phrenology, I guess how you pronounce that.
I've always said phrenology, but I've also never met somebody who cares about it.
Yeah, because it's basically a dead science in sarcastic air quotes.
I think he's actually a doctor because that's where he gets the cane, right? He gets it from some.
This is back when being a doctor, you can just take whatever drug you want and give it to whomever, and whatever, man.
Holmes literally goes down to the chemist and purchases cocaine, so
fuck yeah,
it was a better time.
Put it in my Coca-Cola. Bring it back, Trump. You got the cane sugar.
Hey, did you see
the cocaine?
Did you see he's thinking about reclassifying marijuana?
That'll distract me from the Epstein
Yeah,
files.
if I'm high, I can't think about.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm high, I'm actually going to think a lot more about it, and like
Yeah,
how
that's a
everybody's
good
connected to
point.
it, and it's like,
Huh.
yeah.
So
But
crazy.
I was thinking if
How many
marijuana's, I
pedophiles
think,
run our
I think
government?
everything should go down one notch, right?
There
Like
you
every
go.
drug should go down one notch on the scale.
I do think Adderall should maybe be a Schedule 3 drug for real, not a Schedule 2.
Yeah.
I think, or at the very least, maybe classify some of the other ones that you can't snort to a level 3. But it seems real arbitrary. I saw a thing where like there was a new pain medicine that was going to probably take the market, so they upped it. They made it a schedule higher to discourage people from prescribing it because other drug companies want that revenue.
Mhm.
It's bullshit. That's why it was a simpler time when Sherlock could just get coke from the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Simpler time.
It's not the
Anyway,
free market
Dr.
I voted
Mortimer.
for.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Dr. Mortimer is like, hey, there's a dead guy over here. Let me tell you about how his entire family has been cursed to be hunted and murdered by devil dogs because, oh no, Hugo Baskerville was on the Epstein list and went after, he kidnapped a woman and like a girl, right? It was a girl, not a woman, a girl. He like kidnapped her, right? Like
Um,
it was pretty not
yeah. So he
great.
kidnapped.
Yeah,
There. This is long ago, by the way. This isn't the dead guy. So
in the 1700s. No, this is the dead guy's like
yeah,
great great great
yeah.
grandfather or
These.
something.
So
It's like
there was a lord or something, some like tiny nobility. He's a
Baron.
sir, so I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
he's a knight,
Um, I,
a landed knight.
I
You're not even a
guess
baron. Get
I
the
don't know.
fuck out of here. You
So Sir Hugo Baskerville kidnapped a peasant's daughter. The girl
from Hugo Epstein.
the
Yeah.
girl escapes. Hugo chases her, and um, they find the girl. He chases her across the moor, and they find the girl
Moors.
dead from fright. And Hugo himself has been killed by some demonic hound,
Hell
an
yeah.
impossibly
Sounds like
large.
justice was done. Can we get more of that, please?
Well, if you have an impossibly large black dog and one of uh, Ghislaine Maxwell's boots, if we could lure her out onto the moor.
There you
So the
go.
biggest challenge for me in imagining the Hound of the Baskervilles is I don't fully understand moors.
I think it's a bog
It's
or a
so I've
swampland.
looked this up a couple of times and I still don't think I appreciate fully what's going on in this environment. And I'm sure someone will correct me
It's
about
like
this.
it's not farmland. It's like bogs,
What I understand a moor to be
wetland.
is it could be wet, it could be dry. In this case, I think it's wet, but it is a vast tract of undeveloped land where only like low growth vegetation exists. And it seems to me like it would be fairly difficult to get lost. But I also can understand how like there's also just no landmarks. It's just it goes on forever and there's like rolling hills. So like after you've crossed a couple of hills, if you lose your bearings, everything looks the same and it can
Just
actually
pick a direction and walk.
well, I think it could be such that you would die of exposure before you'd get anywhere if you
Die
pick
of
the wrong direction.
exposure.
But apparently these
Sounds like you shouldn't live in Devonshire.
and indeed few do. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's I don't fully understand the danger of the landscape, but apparently it can be quite dangerous.
Yeah, I don't either because I am prepared for any landscape. That's what I went to Boy Scouts for, Ben.
I've never gone to Boy Scouts. I don't know how to do anything.
I know how to get in the car and go home.
I was gonna say I could tie my shoes.
I know how to leave. Yeah, they had us do a survival camp out where you get a knife and like a jug of water, and then you have to, and in the middle of December you have to like get your own shelter and whatnot, and like nah thanks, I'm good. um I know how I know what my plan is if I ever find myself in that situation. That's to die. I'm gonna die pretty quick or pretty slow. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just be dead, and it will suck. But that's my plan.
That's also the Baskervilles plan.
Yeah,
N-
and the latest Baskerville, not plural, uh, he is gonna move into that house, even though he thinks it's cursed, and they're gonna get got by a hellhound because that's what supposedly got Sir Charles
Okay,
Baskerville,
I was hoping you'd
the
mention
dead
him.
guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the dead Baskerville. And Dr. Mortimer is like, it was definitely that hound. Case closed. You mind if I measure your skull?
So
No, you freak.
there's a couple of things going on with Charles Baskerville. So the Baskervilles are still quite wealthy. They own a decent amount of property in Devonshire. And Charles Baskerville had a bit of a charitable bent. He was kind
Yeah.
of reviving the area.
We should still give him tax breaks, though.
I don't know how nobility works in England. I don't know if they pay taxes on that land, but he.
I should hope not. They inherited that fair and
I
square.
should hope not. But he he was reviving the area economically, and he kind of wanted somebody to continue that work. Now, he basically died of a heart attack on the moors at night. And
Yeah. But was the heart attack given to him by a devil dog?
it
Probably.
it seems so, yes.
Yeah.
The locals have been hearing the sound of a monstrous hound on the moors at night. There have been sightings of an impossibly large black dog. And it seems like Charles started to buy into the family curse. He had amassed, now this is how you know he's a good guy. He had amassed his fortune in, I honestly think, South African emerald mining. I think that might
Yeah, that's how you know he's a great
yeah.
guy. We should elect him for. Well, no, let's not
We don't
elect
elect
him.
him,
Let's
no.
elect
Just
someone
put him in
else
charge
and
of a
then
bunch of shit.
just put him in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But Dr. Mortimer also noticed, and this is kind of why he's coming to Sherlock Holmes, the somewhat eccentric detective. He noticed these large paw prints near the body. Now, Dr. Mortimer, he's a man of science, he's a man of phrenology, and
Yeah.
he doesn't just believe in any wacky bullshit. So when he tells you that he saw the prints of a large cryptid next to a dead man, that carries some weight.
Yeah. But did he get the skull measurements? I'm afraid not.
No, he has the skull measurements. What he didn't do was take a cast of the prints.
Yeah, because those are all washed away because it's the Moors.
Yes. And
Idiot.
there is. Now, this is why Mortimer has come to Sherlock Holmes. Mortimer is in London to meet and to take back with him the last descendant of the Baskervilles, a young man named Sir Henry.
Yeah, look at you already having a knighthood, you dick.
Well, I think he inherited it. And
yeah.
Why
didn't I get shit like that?
He is Canadian. How exotic.
Gross. A Canadian in our fair Britannia.
I think they're still British citizens at this point. I don't know how the
Yeah,
Commonwealth nations work.
probably.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know
I don't
either.
know, and I don't want to know because your ancestors
Yeah,
didn't fight a war.
yeah.
So
You didn't fight a war with us, but I think that they are. Canada does not become a state, or sorry, a
not yet.
state. Not yet.
Not yet.
Canada did not become a country until after the Civil War. Our Civil War, by the way. Obviously, I don't care about any English Civil War because, fuck you guys.
America, fuck yeah!
Hell yeah.
But yes, there was another potential line of the family, but that guy was a jerk, and he wound up in like I think they say like the blood of Sir Hugo was right in that guy's veins, and that guy,
Yeah, he's also on the Epstein
yeah, and
list. So we should give him a position in
he
government.
fled to South America and then
Oh
promptly
no.
died of yellow fever.
So let's go back to Sir, not Hugo. Sir, not Charles. Sir,
Henry.
God damn. Henry. Hugo, Charles, Henry.
So Henry is the Canadian fellow who's coming up to take
Gross.
possession of.
They are still a subject of the British Crown. You're right.
Yes. So he's coming up to take possession of the Baskerville holdings in Devonshire, and he is going to continue his uncle's work of
Yeah.
somehow economically revitalizing the area by being there. It's kind of vague on how he's doing that, but basically what Mortimer is wondering.
Mortimer.
Wait, it's not Devonshire, it's Dartmoor.
Are you sure?
The dog is said to have haunted Dartmoor.
Let's see. Dartmoor. Zoom on out, which is in Devonshire.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I knew I wasn't crazy.
Okay. So, Mortimer is wondering, what do I do with this guy? Because I'm afraid if I take him back there, he's going to die from a giant. They're called black dogs. That's the cryptid we're talking about here.
Hellhound.
Yeah, they show up when somebody's about to die, and you could construe that with they show up when somebody's about to die and or they kill them. But yeah, so what do I do with this guy? And Holmes and Watson are like, well, I don't believe in fairy tales. We're Enlightenment Republicans. We're not the evangelical Republicans.
Yeah.
So no, I don't believe in fairy tales, but I'll take the case. And by I'll take the case, I mean Watson will take the case.
Yeah, I can't be bothered. I'm going to hang out in London. I got too much shit here.
Now, do you remember what happens in London before they leave?
There was a guy who claimed to be Sherlock Holmes, but wasn't.
Somebody has been following Sir Henry, the Canadian.
Yeah.
And Sherlock thought he caught the guy watching their house, and he went to follow him, but the guy got spooked and went away, and they couldn't get a cab to chase him. But Sherlock got the cab number, and they contact the cab driver. Now, of course, this is a horse-drawn carriage, but they contact the cab driver. So I know a lot about various different horse-drawn carriages from reading Sherlock Holmes. Like there's several classifications of these. They meet with the guy, and he's like, yeah, it was this dude in like an obvious disguise, like a giant black beard and dark hair. And he said he was really particular about not letting me know who he was. But then when he told me to beat feet out of here because he was being chased, at the end of that, he said, and just if you might be interested to know, you had the honor of riding with Sherlock Holmes.
Oh my God. Who could that be?
And Sherlock finds that very funny.
Yeah,
Do you remember
that sounds like a solid idea. Yeah,
what else
just
happens?
give the celebrities names.
Just give us.
Yeah, I don't.
There's
I don't recall other than Sherlock being like, "Yeah, I can't be bothered. Watson, you go." And then Watson immediately is waylaid by someone who's like, "You need to leave, like right now. You're gonna die." And he's like, "Oh, what? Really?" And she's like, "Wait, you're not. You're not Sir Henry.
so there's
Never mind."
there's a key piece of evidence in London that is
The
instrumental.
missing
The missing
boot.
boots.
Yeah.
So first, Sir Henry buys a new pair of boots, and he leaves them outside of his room to be shined, which is a thing you could do at hotels, I guess.
Yeah.
And
What a dumbass. He clearly had not had money before, just leaving his stuff out.
my neighbors, actually, on all sides of me, are um, Indian, and Indian people are very particular about you don't wear shoes inside of. And I know a lot of people are, but like, not only do they like not like they don't wear them inside at all. They always leave their shoes outside.
That's weird.
Nobody has stolen their shoes.
That's weird. I want to steal them
They
now. Let's do
actually
it.
got me to do it. Like, I walked through the mud one day and I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave my shoes outside. I'm not going to mess with it. I was like, it worked for everybody else. I'm going to try it. So I did. Nobody stole my shoes.
Wow.
I live in a safe neighborhood, I guess. Or I just have terrible shoes. Nobody wants my Crocs.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I see why no one took your shoes. You wear Crocs? What's wrong?
I fucking wear Crocs, man. You put those things into uncle mode.
Into uncle mode?
Yeah, that's when you put the strap around your heel so you can go faster.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You just scoot around anywhere. But so somebody steals one of his boots. And he's like, who steals a shoe? What's up with that? I hate this hotel. Fuck this hotel. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. He's a real Karen about it. And then, so he's got his old boots now.
Yeah, your old shitty boots from before you were wealthy independently all on your own.
And he's like, I'm going to tell you what. I will continue to leave these outside my room to allow you to shine them. But if this one goes missing, it's your ass. It goes missing. Somebody's stealing this motherfucker's shoes.
Yeah.
And Sherlock,
I would too, but I would at least have the dignity and grace to look him in the eye when I hold my knife up to him and tell him to take off his fucking shoes and hand him over.
So Sherlock asks if anything weird has happened to him. And he's like, well, it's stupid, but this happened. And he's like, it's not stupid. That is actually very interesting. I will not explain further. Watson, you're on the case. And then they go to Dartmoorshire, Devonstown.
Yeah. Where he is warned to leave immediately for fear of his life. And Watson's like, wait, really? Me? And then they're like, oh, no, sorry. I thought you were the Baskerville guy. My bad. What'd you mean by all that? What? By what? Oh, nothing. Women's intuition. Bye.
Bye. So there's a couple of characters. They're a little hard to keep straight. So of course we have Dr. Mortimer. He's sort of acting as liaison for Henry as he's getting used to managing this estate. Henry inherited some servants who are very keen to leave as soon as they can because people keep getting murdered by demon dogs here. They are They are the Barrymores.
Drew Barrymore.
John and Eliza.
John and Eliza.
And there is also the Stapleton siblings. And it was the Lady Stapleton who warned Watson. She seems weird. She talks with a strange lisp, which I'm going to call this a little bit of an ass pull. Watson describes her as talking with a strange lisp, which is in fact just a Spanish accent.
Yeah.
She's
I think she's Costa Rican.
Yeah.
So
it's not,
yeah.
But I've read this many times, but I listened to the audiobook one more time in preparation for it, and the narrator really makes her sound like she has a serious speech impediment. But I don't think that's what it's supposed to be. I think she's literally just supposed to be like España.
What a weird lisp that was. You just busted out.
But yeah. So she has a little bit of an accent, and Watson can't come to terms with that as an Englishman. And the gentleman Stapleton, he is a big nerd. He catches butterflies out on the moor. He's out on it's the Grimpen Mire. He's out on the moor and the mire. This is where this is why I say, like, I'm sure if you're from this place, the landscape makes more sense to you, but I just, there's no moors around where I am, so I don't know how to explain this.
Yeah, we developed our land, all right?
I live in the woods.
I'm talking about
I live in
a guy
mountain
who
forests.
lives
I don't
in the flat plains.
Yeah. I don't know anything about moors, but this guy's out there, this Stapleton fellow, he's catching butterflies. He's out there like one of those bug trainers in Pokemon, and when he catches your eye, he runs right at you. And he's like, "Oh, Watson, yeah, you gotta be careful out here on the moor. You know, you could get lost. I'm the only one who knows the way around because I spent a lot of time familiarizing myself with the land and its various butterflies. Would you like to come back to my place and see my collection of Lepidoptera?" And Watson, instead of being like just punching him in the face and taking his lunch money, is like, "That sounds delightful." And Watson just makes friends with everyone. There's nothing I can imagine wanting to do less than going back with a strange man to see his collection of butterfly corpses. I don't.
who you found in the middle of the wilderness?
Yeah. Now, the other thing about these moors.
Who would you rather run into in the woods? A bear or
a lepidopterist?
Mr. Stapleton?
No. There's one other thing about these moors. They have ancient, I don't know what age, but ancient, like, Stonehenge style barrows. The sort of thing that might capture a hobbit and try to drag them to the underworld. There's all these ancient, like, dwellings on the moor, and so that makes it extra spooky. It's basically a burial ground, and there's
just remember the song, "Oh Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo." You gotta remember the whole thing. He'll show up, he'll put them right back down.
But yeah, there's all these like stone huts out there that are just unoccupied, just standing there silently.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
So there's kind of like this memory
Maybe
of it.
we should just like kick them over.
They're
just be on the safe side.
They're national artifacts.
Yeah. Since when has Britain cared about national artifacts?
They care about everyone's national artifacts.
Of national artifacts.
It'll be safer in my museum. You don't know how to take care of it properly.
There you go. They should pack up all those stone houses and put them in a museum.
Swap with Egypt. We'll just. I'm going to take your dead kings. I'm not sorry.
Here's our tiny stone hut.
Here's a rock I found on the moor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's creepy. It's a creepy place. And
Take your word for that.
So we've had this creepy warning. Um, I think the next weird thing that
There's a
happens,
convict that escaped.
yeah,
You better watch out.
could it?
He could be the killer all along, except red herring, he's not.
Yeah, the convict's not. That's too easy, and also not a giant dog.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless he could become a giant dog, in which case we might have something there. Could the dog man be involved? Watson's not sure what cryptid he's dealing with just yet. But there's also the guy, I do not remember his name. There's one guy, I don't think he has anything to do with the story really, other than
I
like
can't remember.
pointing them in the direction of somebody. He's
LL.
no, yeah, he points them in the direction of
Roar of
LL.
Lions.
But this dude sues everyone for everything all the time.
Living the American dream. Maybe you should have come across the ocean.
Watson even makes friends with this asshole. Watson's like, yeah, he has a telescope too. That's the other thing. He has the telescope, and I think he sees the convict on the moor, but he doesn't want to tell anybody because he's planning on suing somebody about it. And he keeps suing people. Like, if you stub this man's toe, you better believe that's a lawsuit.
Oh man, if you're gonna sue me for that, you better believe I'm gonna do more than just stub the toe. I might as well get my money's worth. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's the thing. You would think he'd be dead. You would think he'd be out of...
Yeah, get that,
yeah.
Get him into the moor.
I think that might be the difference between Britain and America. They've never heard "Don't start nothing, won't be nothing." But
no, for Britain, come on. They're the world champions of starting shit.
We're getting there. Not on an individual basis, but somehow on a national basis.
We learned it from watching Dad.
We did. But yeah, so that guy's there. I don't really remember when he gets involved.
I don't remember much about him at all. But yeah. And then we're going to find out.
Oh, he sees the child. So when Watson visits him, he sees a child going across the moor through the telescope. And he assumes that the child is supplying the convict.
Gasp.
I'm surprised you didn't take more notice of the supply lines. That's kind of your thing.
It was all just washing off of me, Ben.
All right.
As information came in, it just...
So
I can tell you who it isn't, and I can tell you who it is.
They see... I think... I think I'm getting this in the right order. At some point, they also notice the servants are kind of sus. And they catch the servant signaling to somebody on the moor. And
yeah,
they're using a candle in the window, and they hold up a candle, and then there's another light on the moor that responds in kind. And then Watson and Henry go out to find this guy. The servant, the wife confesses that the escaped convict is actually her brother, and they've been providing him with food and supplies, and they're just trying to get him through until he can escape to South America. And
yeah,
but Watson and Henry, they're citizens of the British Empire, and they will be goddamned if even one man escapes the noose on their watch. And they run out into the moor and try to catch him. They fail. And while they're out there, they see another guy on the moor. So there's at least two weird guys out on the moor.
God damn.
Is it
Now I remember why it's just.
is it sliding off you again? I think this is the problem because nobody's doing any deductive reasoning because it's all just Watson writing unanswered letters to Sherlock this whole time.
So it's the Barrymores that are related to the convict.
Yes, the Barrymores are related to the convict. And then they oh golly.
Gosh, what if Sir Henry killed Sir Charles? He didn't.
He didn't. No, he didn't do that. So Watson does eventually do a bit of digging. He finds out that Sir Charles was sort of sponsoring this disgraced woman who had a child out of wedlock, or no, she was married. They just didn't like the guy she married, and that's enough to fully disgrace her and become ostracized from the community. But Sir Charles was actually helping her out. He was supporting her financially a little bit. He was paying for her education to go to typing school so that she could type stuff for people. And Watson finds out from her that she is the reason Sir Charles was out on the moor, I guess. She had scheduled some kind of appointment with him and then canceled it, but didn't tell him. And so he was walking from his house to somewhere else over the moor, and that's why he was out there.
Oh, her dad is the litigator, I think.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck that guy, am I right?
That guy sucks. Oh my God. Wow. I can see it. Like, if I was Sir Charles, I'd give her a couple bucks too. Like, yeah, that's a lot to have to deal with.
If I were Sir Charles, I'd just hire someone to kick the shit out of that guy. A group of guys just walk up and beat his ass.
Meet me out on the moor.
Yeah.
Because he was also suing the police. Like, I don't think they're going to investigate.
Oh no, he died on the moor.
Yeah.
He lost his way or whatever. The suicide in the moor. Case closed.
Yeah. And then okay, now I gotta remember. So then Watson sees the kid going out on the moor, and he follows the kid, and he figures out which stone hut the kid's delivering the food to. And Watson lays in wait, thinking he's going to capture the convict. But to his surprise, before he gets a chance to jump out and shoot anybody, Holmes is like, "Hey, Watson, it's me."
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch! It was me all along!
Gasp! He's here after all. It's Sherlock, Ben. He was here in his own adventure story.
Yes. He was the other guy on the moor.
We can't put him on the book title if he doesn't make an appearance at least once in the case. So,
and this is when he says, "I've actually been here the whole time. I have been keeping watch. I didn't want to alert the people who are involved in this. It's a whole big conspiracy, Watson. All of your theories are wrong. It's bigger than ever, but I think together we can solve this thing." And they come up with a big plan. At some point, Charles fell in love with the Lady Stapleton. There's a lot of plot, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. At some point, Charles is like trying to seduce the Lady Stapleton, and we find out that her brother is actually her husband, and that's why he got so.
That's how they do things in the far off land of Costa Rica.
It's all been some elaborate trap. Basically, Stapleton is the one trying to do this murder, and they come.
Who would have thought that Butterfly Boy had it in him?
Yeah.
Holy crap, you're the monarch!
There's a lot of there's several clues I'm glossing over. I'll be honest with you, because
he stole the shoe.
He stole the shoe
to give his scent to the dog that he's using to try to kill these guys so he can play in to the superstition, Ben.
He stole the shoe. He went to London. He was the one following Charles around. There's another clue about him. He also looks exactly like Hugo Baskerville.
Oh my god.
There's a bunch of clues. Basically, he's the lost Baskerville of the line of Baskervilles that went to South America. He died of yellow fever, but not before siring a child. This is that child. He also let slip to Watson that he was a teacher at some place, and from that Sherlock was able to look him up and find out that he got dismissed under not so great circumstances.
And that's how he knew, like, this is Hugo's offspring for sure.
So they get Inspector Lestrade, recurring character, and he comes down, and they're going to solve a couple of crimes. The Hound does get released one night, and it winds up jumping on the convict. Whoops doodles. Holmes and Watson.
It's not a foolproof process, Ben.
So Stapleton invited Charles to dinner at his house, and Charles is like, hard maybe. And Stapleton took that as a for sure thing, and he released the Hound on the moor. But the only one out on the moor in the open was the convict, who was wearing Charles's clothes because Charles decided to take pity on him and help him. There's a lot of plot. There's a lot of plot.
Charles? You're talking about Henry.
No. Yeah, Henry. Oh my god.
Charles is the dead
Charles
one.
is dead, yeah. The living Baskerville decided to help this guy.
That doesn't seem very posh, rich Britain of you.
Well, he's going to South America, and he felt kind of bad about yelling at the servants. And because he was wearing his clothes, the Hound jumped him, which means the Hound has Charles' scent.
And it also means we solved that whole convict plot line.
Yes. He's
mission accomplished.
He's dead.
You ain't going to South America, never, son.
And then
King's justice has been done.
We find out that Stapleton also, I think, was trying to seduce the typewriter lady, and he's the one that convinced her to make the appointment and cancel it. So that lured the guy out onto the moor, and then he set the dog out. And to trap him, they convince Charles. They're like, go to Stapleton's house, take a carriage there, send the carriage home, tell him you're going to walk home. Tell him real loud you're going to walk home. And then start walking home. And just as he starts walking, though, a huge fog rolls in. And
and we're gonna find some Scooby-Doo shit where he's got dry ice. Is that?
No, the fog is just...
It's just the moors.
Bad luck. And the Hound is loosed. And when all these dudes with these guns are ready to save Sir Henry, Sir Henry's being chased by the Hound, and what they see jump out of the fog is in fact a Hound with glowing eyes and glowing teeth. And it's actually fucking huge, half Mastiff, half Bloodhound.
Open fire, boys.
And they do, and they shoot it and it dies. And then they look and it's actually it wasn't a hellhound. It was a regular mutant hound that somebody had rubbed phosphorus on.
Yeah.
To make it glow.
It is actually Scooby-Doo shit. Oh, look, they used a projection so they could fake walk through a wall. Let's unmask this villain.
Well, this is where Scooby-Doo got it, okay? So yeah, and they catch Stapleton. His wife turns on him after he beat the hell out of her because she wasn't going to go along with the murder plot. And I actually believe Stapleton flees out onto the moor.
And is never heard or seen from again.
He has some hiding place, and he's like trusting his wife to come save him, and she just takes off. So he dies out there. And that's not quite the end, because there's a little bit where we have like what we have the big reveal of all the stuff I just told you, all the clues and how they were put together. And then we have what happened to everybody afterward. Having been rejected by the young woman, the now widow Stapleton, Sir Henry is super PTSD'd from being chased by a demon hound and thinking he was going to die.
Not real.
And
not real back in the 1800s. PTSD didn't exist.
He decides what he needs is a bro cruise. And he and Mortimer go travel around the world to heal his damaged nerves.
Why would you want to hang out with that guy?
There's a lot of interesting skull shapes out there.
All right, Ben. Rubric.
I told you.
Like it just flows right off, Ben. I know who did it. I know who didn't do it. And
this one, so I would say you should have started with the study in Scarlet. That's the right place to start.
Well, maybe next time.
Yeah, the Hound of the Baskervilles is just not a. It's a bad place to start, and it's really convoluted, and I don't know. It loses a lot of the charm of Sherlock Holmes, but it has a demon dog, so I feel like it got famous mostly for that. But okay. Content and ideas.
0. No, I'm kidding. I guess it's original. I guess a 4.
I would go with a 4. I mean, it's been parodied to death. There's something about the Hound of the Baskervilles. Honestly, I think it's the name, even though you can't say it.
The Hound of the Baskervilles.
You got there.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's an idea here. I think it's well developed enough to have real staying power. But I think it's one of the spookier Sherlock Holmes tales, and that's maybe why it's remembered, but it's not one of the better Sherlock Holmes tales.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Organization. That's going to be hard for me to decide, Ben.
I'm at a 3 for that one.
Okay.
I
didn't know if that was unreasonable because of my experience or not.
No, I have, as soon as I found out this was your first Sherlock Holmes, I remember telling you like, oh, I don't know about that. Because even as a Sherlock Holmes fan, I read all the stories in order of publication, and having a lot of Sherlock Holmes material behind me, I remember being disappointed in this book because Sherlock Holmes was barely in it.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I think that choice, it's on a reread, it's a little bit more fun because you get a different side of Watson. Like Watson on his own is not something you normally see, but it doesn't carry the book. He just doesn't carry the book.
Yeah, there's a reason you're a side character. Anyway, word choice, Ben.
So I'm at a 4. I I love this slightly old-timey way of talking and writing. It's a controversial pick. It's maybe like a personal choice. I really love English at this point in time. And I did.
So I don't have to feel bad if I say a 3.
No,
then.
you don't have to feel bad.
Okay.
But I'm at a 4. I like it.
Personal preference, Ben.
It's a 4 for me. I still like it. I think you would like it more if you had a better context for the relationship between
I
Holmes
don't
and
know
Watson.
anything about what's going on.
So whatever you give it is probably fine because this is just not a good.
I'm gonna go with 3 and 3 for the recommendation as well.
Yeah, I'd go with I'd go with a 4 for recommendation, but again, I can't recommend it be the first one you read.
That's probably fair.
Like they're all good. There's not really a Sherlock Holmes story I hate, but I would recommend the short stories, honestly, before I'd recommend any of the novels. But if you're going to start with a novel, it should be A Study in Scarlet. And of the novels, this is the weakest. So there are most of the stories would maybe get a 5 from me, but this is at a 4, which is low. So for me, that
59 points for me.
Okay, that's a 59 from Nate. And that is a, let's see,
71 for you, I think.
Yeah, 50, 30, 45, 60, 71. Yep. 71 from me. So yeah. Hound of the Baskervilles. Check it out.
Hounds of the Baskervilles.
Dartshire, Devonmore. Check it out just after you've checked out a bunch of other stuff.
Sounds good.
See you later. Do you want to do the Patreon stuff in post?
Why, yes, Ben. Yes, I do. As always, we shout out our yacht tier planned subscribers. You've got Jamie, the Gravy Man. If you want the gravy.wordpress.com, check out his blog where he reviews everything except books, and also his blog didn't mysteriously lose all of its images. So there's that. Then you've got Isekai Sensei Sama from That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster podcast. You've got John Bierce, a real author. You can check out the Mage Errant series, The City That Would Eat the World, and my personal favorite, The Rack. And finally, last but not least, you got Shy with a Y on TikTok. And also, in a few months, maybe on this podcast. Eh? All right. Bye, everyone.
And then promptly died of yellow fever.
What is it?
Oh,
What's wrong?
do you hate hearing about old Englishmen? I don't like Sir Henry either.
And Sir Hugo even less.
No.